Hello everybody, my name is X Factor. Welcome to some Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 gameplay on the PC. Those of you that have Origin access have early access to Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 up to 10 hours. And oh yeah, the game comes out for everybody else on Tuesday, and that's PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So we're going to talk about my first impressions of the game and some of the things that bug me. For the most part, this is an extremely addictive and fun game. I had a blast in the first one, and the second one is basically the first one on steroids. There is a ton of depth. There is single player, there is co-op play with up to 4 buddies. You could party up, you could play multiplayer. There's Easter eggs everywhere. There are quests which lead to increasing your XP up to 2 times XP. And of course, you get tons of coins for epic character packs. So that's usually what I do. I save up 75,000 coins, buy an epic character pack, and then I get an unlock such as Fire Rose or Frost Rose. For the most part, the game is extremely balanced considering there are 100 different characters and variants in the game. And here's one of the new ones, Rose. This is the fire variant. There's actually 5 Rose variants, and they're all way too strong. And I'm going to go over why here in a couple seconds. But for the most part, again, the balance is really good, which is unbelievable because, again, there are 100 different variants in the game. So what makes Rose so crazy? Well, first off, she has the best CC, crowd control in the game. She can goat you, and if you're good enough, there's 2 or 3 people staying together, they can get goated together. The only thing they can do is eat grass, kick themselves, scratch, and ram you for minimal damage. You can't get a kill that way. It's kind of funny, but it's very, very rare. That's the third thing that you see over there. The first thing is my slow. Area of effect, castable very, very, very far away, and anybody in the pinkish purple orb is slowed. Imagine taking your sensitivity and basically turning it to 1, or taking your DPI on your mouse and turning it to about 100. You can't move, you can't use your special abilities, you're basically dead in the water. So you can go at somebody, you can slow somebody, you can cover your reload, and then you could just pummel them. So with the Fire Rose, what makes her so tough, or any of these Rose variants, it auto-locks. It will loosely track. So with the Fire Rose, you could charge up, and it takes 6 of your shots away, and it hits for 70 damage, and it has a damage over time, a burn, which allows you to see people through walls. So what's that mean? If you get that 6 load, that bang going, you can one bang an imp across the map. And there are multiple different classes that can one bang imps because they are the glass cannon. They've got 50 health, but when they get their mech, you are in trouble unless there's a couple roses around. So the other thing she has is the best evasion in the game. You're not going to see me use it much. I simply don't need to. So the number 2 command on PC allows me to take next to no damage. It speeds up my run speed. I basically do this kind of shimmering invis thing. They can still see me, they can still damage me, but I can get out of town, or I can get into close quarters combat if I so choose. And there you see the load up. So what happens here is if you get that load up, that's 70 damage, and then of course the dot over time. And there you see I'm just pouring salt in this poor imp's wound right there. Killed him while he was goated. So a lot of times with Rose, it's about playing the CC game, slowing somebody, killing somebody, goating somebody, then killing somebody, then going back to the goat. It's absolutely insane. But the Frost Rose is just as insane. Again, it auto locks. So you could charge the Frost Rose up, and here's what happens with the Frost Rose. It'll one bang an imp for 50 damage, but if people are nearby, it will freeze you. If you get hit with the 40 and 2 quick 5s, it will freeze you in place. That superhero, done. Can't move, can't use his special abilities. So he doesn't have the deeps that the other Rose variants have. But think about this. You're frozen, can't move, you cannot use any of your abilities when that happens. Now, it doesn't last too long, but more than likely in this game, it's absolutely going to get you killed, especially if you're a class that's bound to your mobility, the success of your class. Now, here's the other thing that happens. Let's say you freeze somebody. Just like that, you see those other numbers pop up? It's an area of effect damage, and it will freeze anybody nearby. So when you get close to these capture points or these flag areas, if you hit somebody with the freeze, you might see 25s and 35s jump up as the other 2 or 3 people get frozen in place too. Again, they can't use their special abilities, which more than likely are not going to help them. And another thing that Rose is allowed to do is she's allowed to set up a teleporter. You get 20 points each time somebody ports in, and you can set up the defensive abilities in that area. There's usually 2 to 4 depending on what part of the map. So it's often best to babysit that. Allow your team to keep pushing forward. And here's a triple freeze and lots of damage. I can't tell you how many times the poor imp would pop their mech and just get shredded because the basic Rose, again, it auto locks, 10 damage per shot, absolutely shreds you because the rate of fire is so high. And there is the evasion, which I'm using to kind of sit and not get insta-gibbed here. So in the beta, the Rose was a little bit light. They had crazy CC, they still had 125 health, but the velocity of the weapons weren't as high, and the damage was not as good. Seems like the developers went a little bit overkill. This game has been phenomenal so far. It's been an absolute blast. And this is really my only complaint on the PC side, minus no click to zoom, no ADS slider, and a couple other things. I've really had a lot of fun playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. I look forward to playing more. It's a thoroughly enjoyable game, and hopefully there's a day 1 patch to adjust the Rose variants. They're simply too strong. 125 health, the best crowd control in the game, evasion, and locking DPS, not to mention nasty DPS. Over the next couple of days, there's going to be a couple of videos and live streams, so don't forget to check out for a couple XP and leveling guides, and of course the craziness that happens over in the live stream channel. As always, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys soon.